and girls of grade 5. I'm Miss Benjamin, your social studies teacher. And today we'll be looking at leaders in our community. Take some time and think about the many leaders that can be found within your community. I am sure you have thought about president, pastor, father. They're all leaders in their own way. However, who is a leader? A leader is a person who is in charge or commands a group, organization, or a country. I am sure one day you hope to be a leader. However, leaders in our community manage the affairs on behalf of us. They make decisions that will motivate and inspire others into action. Why are leaders necessary? Leaders are necessary because they ensure the smooth functioning of our communities. They implement visions and values. They ensure that we communicate effectively. They motivate us and they provide appropriate resources. Let's take some time to list some qualities of a good leader. You may list the top 5 qualities in your exercise books. Let's double check. Do you have honest, responsible, confident, reliable, determined? A good leader must be patient, loyal, punctual. That is, they must be on time, organized, and they must surely possess good communication skills. Boys and girls, let's now look at the types of leaders in our community. Take a minute to list a few. We have city and town leaders, village leaders, regional leaders, trade and union leaders, religious leaders, social leaders, and even political leaders. Let's get down to who these leaders really are. City and town leaders. These are the persons in charge of our cities and towns. They include the mayor and his or her town councillors. In Guyana, we have 10 towns, with the chief town or capital city being Georgetown. I hope you remember the name of the other 9 towns. The leader or mayor of Georgetown is His Worship Obraj Narain. Here's a picture of him. The other 9 towns also have leaders. The mayors and councillors of these towns are the leaders who make important decisions for the people who live in the towns. Be sure to find out who is the mayor making important decisions in your town. Let's look at a few duties of the mayor and councillors. They keep the environment of our city clean by providing garbage disposal services. They repair our streets and bridges. They even maintain parks, avenues, and other recreational facilities. They maintain our markets and abattoirs. They inspect eating houses, and they give guidance and direction for the erection of new buildings and renovations of old ones. So we're now aware of the duties and functions of our city and town leaders. Let's move on to our village or community leaders. The leaders in our communities form part of the Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC. These are leaders found in our local villages like Edmore, Aishalton, or Eccles. The head of the council is known as a village chairman. There are 65 of these councils which look after the affairs of the communities in the country. The persons on the council are responsible for keeping our communities clean and maintaining services such as potable water and good drainage facilities. These leaders in our community are elected when there are local government elections. In Guyana, local government elections are held every 3 years. Let's go to the next type of leaders found in our Amerindian villages. Do you remember what the leader of an Amerindian village is called? Tushao? Correct. The leader of an Amerindian village is either called a captain, chief, cacique, or tushao. The leader may have councillors to assist him or her in managing the village. They are elected by the Amerindians who live in that village. The duties of the cacique include providing education and other social services such as water, roads, and playgrounds. They decide on the ownership of land and maintain order in the community. We can therefore find Amerindian leaders in places such as Oriala, Aishalton, or Paramakatoy. Here is a picture of a tushao. Let's move on to our next type of leaders, and those are our regional leaders. Boys and girls, do you remember how many regions are there in Guyana? That is correct. Guyana is divided into 10 administrative regions. These regions are run by a special body of leaders called the Regional Democratic Council. The head of these councils is usually a regional chairman or chairwoman. These leaders are usually elected at the national and regional elections held every 5 years in our country. They look after the affairs and overall management of the administrative region they represent. Be sure to find out the leaders within your region. The next type of leaders are very important. They are our trade union or labor leaders. Workers in a particular trade or profession have special groups which look after their interests. These groups are called trade unions. For example, GTU. Do you know what that abbreviation means? Yes, Guyana Teachers Union. Other trade unions include GLU, Guyana Labor Union, and GPSU, Guyana Public Servants Union. The leaders of the trade unions are elected by the workers. They look after the rights of the members by ensuring they have satisfactory working conditions related to wages, working hours, credit unions, education, their social needs, safety, and lunch areas. You must remember, boys and girls, that there is a very important founder leader of trade unions. His name is Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, and he is the first trade union leader in Guyana and the Caribbean. He is known as the father of trade unionism. His statue can be found in the compound of Parliament buildings. Our next type of leader is the religious leader. A religious leader is one who is recognized by a religious body and they have authority within that body. Maybe a church, a mosque, or a temple. They are responsible for ensuring that their members are guided by wisdom with a dedication to faith and spirituality. They're the ones that encourage us to pray often and to keep our faith in our supreme beings. Religious leaders include priests, pastors, ministers, imams, pandits, popes, bishops, and rabbis. Here's a picture showing us a few examples of some religious leaders. Let's move on. Social leaders. These are persons that shape our character and behavior. In most cases, they're also inspirational leaders. These include scout leaders, sports leaders like our coaches who encourage us to do our best, our youth leaders, and dance instructors. Let's move on, boys and girls. Lastly, and importantly, we cannot forget our political leaders. A political leader or politician refers to anyone who has taken up the responsibility to govern a country or state. They are responsible for making and implementing strategies and policies meant to better serve the interests of the country. In Guyana, these leaders are chosen through elections because we are a democratic nation. In other countries that are monarchs or have a system of dictatorship, they elect their leaders through other methods. Political leaders within Guyana include the executive president and members of the cabinet, the opposition, and other members of the National Assembly. Here's a picture of some of Guyana's political leaders. Okay, boys and girls, let's review the main points. Remember, a leader is a person who is in charge or commands a group, organization, or country. Leaders are necessary to ensure the smooth functioning of our communities. A leader must be honest, trustworthy, reliable, and hardworking. The head of a city or town is known as a mayor, and there are different types of leaders within our community. Be sure to read your Social Studies for Children Book 5 for more information on leaders within the community. Goodbye for now, boys and girls of grade 5, until we meet again for our next lesson in Social Studies. Be safe and continue to revise.